everyone. I have a program here I want to discuss, and this uses multi-forms, and more specifically, we share data between forms. So that's the technique for this week. I'll just demo the program real quickly here. I have like a browsing program where I can go back and next through various products. So I'm going to add a few products to my bag, just a few items here. And then when I go to the checkout button here, I will launch a second form. And you can see what I've done here is passed the user's bag or the shopper's bag into this second form. So this is about sharing data between forms, and that's what I've done here. In this video, I'm going to use overloaded constructors. That is my preferred technique over the tag property, but you could make it work with either technique. So here I'm in the second bag, and I can edit the cart. For example, I'll remove this bottom one here, and you can see the totals are being updated. And then if I decide to go back and shop some more, I can do that as well. Maybe I'll just throw another one in there. So you can see that the cart is, it persists, or the user's bag, the purchases persist between forms, and I don't lose any information. And then finally I'll go to continue here. This is like a fake credit card screen. I'll just enter a number. And again, I could go back and edit the bag and so on. So anyway, let's talk about the code here. One thing I'll recommend, and this is optional, but for each of those three forms, I have set the forms, I'm over here on the right, I've set the forms, I believe it's the start position property to center screen. If you don't do that, I think the default is Windows default location. Then the forms travel as you're going back and next. It's really annoying for the user. So that's a nice touch if you want to do that. And basically, I'm starting with a SOAP class with just some basic information, the name, the weight, the price, and so on, and just some property blocks, and I've overloaded two strings. So in the first form here, I've got a couple of lists. So this is the main form, and we have the list of the full inventory of products, and then the user's cart or bag, which is another list of type SOAP that would reflect what the user wants to purchase. So we've got two lists going on here, and populating the inventory as the form loads, and doing the back and next with the buttons there. And then, of course, when the user clicks the add button, we're adding the currently viewed SOAP to the cart, or the bag as we're calling it in this program. So what happens here, this is the interesting part where we get to the form sharing, or the data sharing between forms. Here, when I click that checkout button, what happens is I'm launching a new a form, which is the second form here, reflecting the user's bag. And I want to get the user's cart or bag into that second form. And the technique I've used is overload a constructor. So let me pull up that bag form. Here it is. And basically, all right, let me go to the top here. At the very top, at the class level, I know this is kind of an older program, so we have a lot of designer garbage in the class, but I'm in the main form class here, and I've created a private variable, a static variable. Maybe I'll talk about the static thing in the next video, but this is a list of type SOAP. I'm calling it cart copy. Okay, so I need a list of type SOAP in this second form as well. All right. And what I've done here, so this is the default constructor that is automatically generated by the designer. You're not going to touch that. You are going to overload it, and that's what I've done here. So I've overloaded that constructor. I just copied it, pasted it, parameterized it to receive a list of type SOAP. And I'm calling that parameter C, and then once it's in the door, this is the user's cart with the SOAPs that he or she wants to buy. Then I'm putting that into the cart copy, that list that's created at the class level. So now it's here. The cart copy is in the form, and I have the user's cart, and I'm pretty much home free at that point. Just a reminder here, you need this line. This is auto-generated by the designer. Don't delete that. Make sure that's still in your overload constructor. So once the bag is in the door, so to speak, in the form load, I'm just going to zip through that with a for each and then populate the list box, meaning this guy. Populate the list box with the names of those items that the user wants to buy. Okay. From there, you can, I do have a remove button, and it's, you know how easy it is to remove an item from a list. So I think what I'll do is, oh, just very quickly, one more thing I want to mention. Going back to this first form, okay, when we're launching the second form and passing the cart to the Form 2's constructor, that's all well and good. But notice this here. In this application, I only have one form open at one time. And it's very important, the startup form, the main form here, Form 1 it's called, don't close that. You might be tempted to do a this.close, out of sight, out of mind. Don't do that, because your startup form is special. Once you close that form, the whole application shuts down. So if you want to get it out of view, but you want to leave the application open, then you need to hide that form rather than closing it. That would shut down everything. Okay, and then speaking of shutting down forms, so I'm going to go to the bag here, the shop some more button. If I want to shop some more, then I'm shutting down this form. Okay, I'm closing this form and going back to the original form with the original products so the user can shop some more. But look at the technique I'm using to get that first form back. You can do application.openForms, Form 1 is the main form there, and do a show. So you can bring it forth, even though it's in hiding, this is how you can get it to show again. Now this form here, the bag, you can close this one because he's not the main form. So if you close it, it's not a big deal. Yes, it will be wiped from memory, which is fine because we can get it back very easily. It's not going to shut down the entire application because it's not the main form. So it's really just that main form, that first form, Form 1, that you have to be careful about not closing. So that's it for this video. I'll continue in the next video.